Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be talking about co-host Amberlynn Reid. There have been a lot of kind of updates without Amberlynn actually uploading a video. There's been a lot of stuff that has been happening behind the scenes that we're going to be talking about today. And so the first thing that I want to talk about is this post that she made a few hours ago as of me recording this. And it goes on to say, I will explain all of this, so it's not going to make much sense right now, probably, if you don't know everything that's going on. But it goes on to say, I just now checked social media for the day. Haven't been on as much lately, hence why I haven't been uploading vibes. And I noticed lots of rumors being spread. Just so I think it's mainly one rumor that she's really addressing here, which we will get into. Just so everyone knows, all of it is a lie. But everyone will believe what they want anyway. So this is the only time I'll ever speak on it. Putting my energy into a large group of people who will only ever see the bad in me is not something I want in my life anymore. So she's basically saying that, she doesn't want to address every single rumor all the time. So I can see that, and I can understand wanting to do that. But basically, like, every single upload that Amberlynn does, basically, at this point, at least half, if not more, is usually kind of responding to rumors, right? And so it's like, and she even has like whole segments dedicated basically to that. And so I don't know how true that is, but whatever. I'm trying very hard to focus on my mental health and my sanity. This is why I'm saying bye to constantly engaging in hate and saying bye to people in my life that destroy any piece of sanity I do have, which, I mean, if she actually was doing that, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's a good idea. But if you're wanting drama and for me to speak on any rumors being spread about me, it isn't happening. I'm in protection mode in more ways than one. Protect your mental health at all costs, even if it makes you look like the bad guy when you aren't. Anyways, I am going live for members only at 8:30 p.m. See you there. So if you don't know, Amberlynn Reid has been doing members only lives once a week for about 2 hours, but apparently she has decided that she's going to split that into 2 different live streams during the week, which is going to be an hour each. Now you're probably wondering, well, what is this huge revelation that has happened? Well, we are going to go over to Reddit to find the answer. And so, as you can see here, this is from the subreddit Amberlynn Reid verse. And it is, this person left a comment that said, I think Emily's dog unalived the cat still, right? And then, so this is Emily. If you don't know who Emily is, or Tommy, depending on who you ask, was a love interest that Amberlynn was with for, I don't know, really only a few months, but she ended up going and visiting Tommy or Emily, and she was there for a few months. And when she went there, she brought, I think, all of her animals, or at least a few of her animals. And during that time, one of Amberlynn's cats ran away, right? Or got away, or left, or is no longer with us, right? The cat is no longer with us anymore. And this was a huge thing in all of the Amberlynn Reid verse and girl world. It was talked about a lot. I made a couple videos about it. This was a big deal, right? Because Amberlynn she left from Oklahoma to Wisconsin, which is where Tommy lives, or Emily lives, right? And she was living with her for a few months, and she brought all of her animals there. And in that time, this cat had gotten away, and this was a huge deal, right? Everyone was talking about it. Amberlynn had made a few videos about it. It was a big thing. And up until now, we haven't really heard any updates on it. It's been kind of radio silent. And so that's why this stuff is important, right? And so this is Emily's account, Provoked. If you go, I'm not saying go to their Instagram and harass them, but if you go to the Instagram, this is their account, right? And so they replied, don't blame my dog. He doesn't deserve that. He's the sweetest old boy and a big baby. Blame the person who lost her the day I told her to go back to Oklahoma, right? And so very clearly, there's a little bit of shade being thrown there where Emily is saying, the way that it is read, and I feel like the way most people read this situation is going to be that Emily is basically stating that she feels that this was intentional, right? That the cat, quote unquote, got lost the day that she asked Amberlynn to move or to leave, because Amberlynn didn't want to leave. And so therefore she kind of caused this to happen to make, a bunch of drama and make it so I'm assuming Emily would not want to make her leave and leave the cat that is apparently somewhere in the wilderness in Wisconsin. And so now Amberlynn is going to stay there for a little bit longer and try and find the cat. Now, with all of that being said, Amberlynn did end up doing this live stream where she does talk about the situation. Apparently not very much. I'm not a member of the channel, so I'm not able to watch these live streams. And so we are going to check out this video, which is from a smaller creator, which I think that they do a fantastic job. It's called Miss Speckful. And they kind of go over this live stream and kind of go piece by piece. And so we're going to watch part of this video. The first part is just kind of talking about everything that we already talked about. And so I'll check this out. I will also link the whole video down below if you do want to check out the entire video. But without further ado, let's just get into this one.
So when Amberlynn started the live stream, people instantly could tell something was up. Amberlynn just looked off. You could see it as well. Amberlynn would say that she was actually crying a few hours before she started the live stream, but she told herself, stop crying. You've got a live stream later. Order some sushi and get it together. Which again, I'm telling you, it lasted about 45 minutes. She kept herself together for about 45 minutes and then the Rarity breakdown happened.
I mean, I can't even say that I'm really surprised about that, because especially like if you were around when Amberlynn was talking to Tommy, Emily, whatever, if you were around when that was happening, it felt like Amberlynn was completely and utterly infatuated with this person, right? And obviously there was a ton of drama around it because a lot of people found Emily on different like feeder websites, and there was just some weird breadcrumbs that had been left, and people were like, I'm not sure if this is the best person that Amberlynn should be with. And then, you know, everything kind of happened. But at the time, Amberlynn was completely and utterly infatuated with this person, right? There was nothing anyone could say that would make, you know, Amberlynn not feel like this is the best thing that has ever happened to her and that she should go full into this relationship. And so I can't say that I'm surprised that she would be completely just devastated by, you know, Emily coming out and being like, yo, you know, and just kind of dropping that bomb, hint, whatever term you want to use, right?
So people in chat were asking Amberlynn to address the accusations made by Emily, who, you know, was insinuating that Amberlynn let Rarity out on purpose because Emily told Amberlynn, it's time for you to leave Wisconsin and go back to Oklahoma. Amberlynn basically just ignored all these questions, or would say that, you know, she's not talking about any of this, she's not addressing these rumors, and she's just wanting to keep her peace. After being asked over and over again about Rarity and the accusations.
I mean, and you just can't be surprised. Like, in Amberlynn, come on, let's be real. Right? She's not surprised that people are asking about this. This is why people watch you, for the majority of it, right? Is for the drama, is for the tea, is for the crazy stuff that happens. And, you know, in the past few months, people have been kind of, I think, starved for that kind of stuff. And so this is the first time there's been something of, you know, something worth talking about, because everything else has just been Amberlynn kind of sitting on her couch talking about this thing and answering this question and doing this Q&A. And it's just been, you know, for most people have felt that it's been kind of boring, right? And so this is the first time there's actually something like, oh my God, this is drama. This is something worth talking about. And so of course people are going to have that question, right?
Amberlynn would finally address the questions, and this is where it started. Amberlynn would start saying that, I'm going to say this, and it sucks that this is behind a paywall here. For anyone to believe in their actual heart that I would purposely do something to Rarity, the cat that I loved for almost a decade with my whole full heart and soul, you are insane. While Amberlynn was going on this full-on rant, she was looking directly into the camera the whole time as well. Because normally she's not looking to the camera. Because Amberlynn was doing the same thing as last week. She had her laptop up where she was, I guess, reading the comments and then live streaming from her phone. Amberlynn would also say that the rumors about this happening are just, and I quote, a hate fixation against her. Amberlynn would say she knows people do not care that these rumors are affecting her.
So it's interesting. What's interesting to me is, while that might be true, right? There might be people that no matter what you say, right, Amberlynn, that they're not going to believe anything, right? They're just going to think the worst of the worst, right? That's fair, right? I think you can feel that way, and honestly, I wouldn't even really be upset with you about that. But what's more important is addressing the fact that Emily said this, right? That this was said by someone that you claimed to, was the love of your life, that you wanted to marry, that you wanted to be with. Like, they made this statement. So I think more than anything, regardless of how much you feel the haters are over the top, whatever, right? You can feel that way. I think it's important to at least address the person that said the thing, right? Like, that's much more important in my mind than what the haters are thinking and saying, right? Because they're not the ones that made Emily post this. She posted it on her own, of her own will. No one forced her to do that, right?
And this is why she is so emotional tonight, and this is why she is now having this breakdown. Amberlynn would also go on and say that she does regret bringing Rarity, Twinkie, and Wasabi to see Emily, and regrets even going to see Emily herself in the first place. I still...
And this is what's frustrating to so many people because, again, mentioning the haters, a lot of the people that, Amberlynn kind of lumps everyone that is... Not all the time. Sometimes she's not like that. But a lot of times, especially with situations like this, she kind of lumps everyone that has anything critical to say as quote unquote a hater, right? But there are plenty of people that I personally wouldn't put in that camp of just being a hater, that were like, hey, this is weird that you are leaving your entire life for months and months on end for this person that you just met, right? And you are taking all of these animals from their home and bringing them, driving them across the country, basically, to be with this person who you don't even know that well, who also has their own animals, putting them in a different place and making them kind of deal with that, right? A lot of people were very concerned about that, and those were things that were brought up at the time that were completely dismissed as being a hater. It's just people that are haters, people are just being mean, people just whatever, right? But this is what people were saying, and now when that thing ended up happening, it's like, oh, well, I don't really want to talk about it.
Do not understand why you would bring 3 pets to a literal stranger's house, like who also has their own pets as well. No, especially considering the age of your animals, who are now in they're in a brand new environment with brand new animals around them and a brand new stranger as well. What's so frustrating is that Amberlynn would have easily afforded either getting a pet sitter to stay at her place or going to a pet motel to drop off the pets to stay there for like a week or two. But again, Amberlynn...
Or just have some of her family, she's so much closer with her mom now. That was something that so many people brought up. Like, just have your mom come and, feed the cats once a day or whatever, right? Change the litter box, take the dog for a walk. Like, I just don't understand. That would have been such an easier solution, right? Than just bringing them with you. And if you're like, well, I didn't want to leave them for that long, well, then maybe that would have been a good reason to not stay there for as long as you were, right? Like, that was another red flag that just felt weird.
Puts her feelings first. Her girlfriends always take priority in her life, and now Rarity's still missing to this day. And also, I don't understand, why would you not get your animals collars before leaving?
Yeah, and that's another really important thing that is very common with Amberlynn, is that, she says that I want to be independent and I don't want to rely on anyone, but then she gets into these relationships and you can just tell that there's this yearning for, like, feeling like you're, somewhat, you have a person. I can just tell from watching Amberlynn for as long as I have, she yearns for, like, having that person, having her special person, whoever it is, whatever relationship she is in at the time, it just becomes all encompassing for her, right? It just completely takes over her life, and every decision that she makes for a period of time while she's in that relationship revolves around that person and that relationship. And a lot of times, maybe it might be great for the person at first, but then I think it gets very, very unhealthy very, very quickly. And that's why we see so many things like there's just this huge spark and like, oh my God, everything's so great. And then it crashes and burns almost as fast, right? Especially in the last couple of years, it's been very, very like up and down and up and down and up and down. And it's something that you notice a lot. And I think that was a great point, right? Where Amberlynn just puts the relationship above everything else, even her health, right? That's something that we see very frequently, that obviously I talk about the most, is that she will put this new relationship above trying to lose weight or trying to do what other health things she was trying to do, right? Because the relationship is the most important thing, and that's all that matters for that period of time, however long it is.
No, she didn't learn this when Gracie got out back in the Destiny era. Are Twinkie and Wasabi microchipped? Because I'm pretty sure they aren't microchipped today. And if that's the case, this is another reason why I just don't think she really... I mean, like, I know that she's sad that Rarity got out, but if you were so traumatized by that and so worried about your other pets going missing or something happening to them, why aren't they microchipped? Amberlynn would say that she hates...
It's a very good point. There's really no answer for that other than, like, why not? Why not microchip them if you're so worried about this?
feeling this way, and that she was making so much progress with the help of Zoloft, but this rumor situation type deal is ruining all her progress. And the thing is, no, Amberlynn, this is people holding you accountable for your shitty decisions you always make, whether it's in regards to your health or your pets, friends, or family. This is something that people are never going to forget and never going to let you forget. And if the other rumors are true that you do have a new kitten or you're getting a new kitten, then dear God, like, I hope that's not the case. I hope that's just a rumor. Amberlynn talks about how Mama Lynn called her, and what I find weird as well is that Amberlynn would say that Mama Lynn calls her Amber, not Amberlynn. And then Mama Lynn would say that everyone who knows Amberlynn in real life knows how much she loved Rarity. Again, that's not the point. The point is you brought your animals to a random state to meet some feeder that you met online and show that you will always put yourself first in any situation. And then when things go wrong, it's us, the viewer's fault. Okay.
Yeah, like two things can be true at the same time, right? Like I believe that Amberlynn probably does love her animals for sure, but also she will put other things above them if she feels that that's, in a lot of times it's relationships, right? She will put the relationships above the love for the animals. And I think this whole saga of going from Oklahoma to Wisconsin and bringing the cat there, the cat gets lost, it's no longer, has never been found. I think that's a perfect example of that because it was so unnecessary to do.
So we talk about the memberships now. There's another change. There's another change, everyone. So apparently there will be 2 live streams a week now.
So that's basically everything that I wanted to talk about in this video. But again, I will link that original video down in the description if you want to check out the whole thing, because there's definitely more to it if you want to check it out. But that was what I wanted to talk about. I think that it's very interesting that she has decided to kind of talk about this quote unquote rumor above all of the other ones. And I think a big part of it is, like we were talking about, because it comes from Emily, right? A previous love interest of hers. And I feel like it probably hurts a lot more coming from Emily than it would coming from, any of the quote unquote haters or reaction channels, whatever term you want to use, because I feel like it's a lot harder for her to just brush this off as just someone that has, Amberlynn derangement syndrome, right? Like, this is someone that Amberlynn says loved her at one point and now feels differently. And again, it is a very clear pattern of behavior from someone being in a relationship with Amber to then, to not saying the nicest things about Amber after the fact, right? And so the only thing that is constant in that is Amberlynn, right? And so I just wanted to bring that up. I wanted to kind of share about all the stuff that's going on more recently. I would love to know what y'all think down in the comments section down below. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.